The 2030 Agenda and End Time Prophecy, a Biblical Watchman's Analysis. Introduction. The 2030 Agenda is not just a plan for global progress. It's a prophetic puzzle piece in the unfolding end-time narrative. Welcome to the 2030 Agenda and End Time Prophecy, a Biblical Watchman's Analysis, a series dedicated to unmasking the spiritual implications of the United Nations Global Development Goals through the lens of Scripture. While the world celebrates words like peace, equity, sustainability, and unity, we take a step back and ask, what does the Bible say about these promises? Are we witnessing the groundwork of the beast system foretold in Daniel and Revelation? How can the remnant of Yasharel stay discerning, set apart, and spiritually prepared? Each installment in this series breaks down one key theme of the 2030 Agenda and compares it to the unchanging truth of Yahuah's Word, exposing deception, revealing prophecy, and equipping believers to stand firm as watchmen in this final hour. So whether you're new to this topic or well along in your awakening, this series is for those who refuse to bow to the rising system and choose instead to blow the trumpet, stand on truth, and endure to the end. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Ezekiel 3:17. Point 5. Gender equality and reproductive rights. What the 2030 Agenda says. The 2030 Agenda repeatedly emphasizes gender equality and access to reproductive health as essential to human development and social justice. Relevant sections include Goal 5. Achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Paragraph 20. Realizing gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls will make a crucial contribution to progress across all the goals and targets. Paragraph 26. We are committed to ensuring universal access to sexual and reproductive healthcare services, including for family planning, information, and education. Other goals call for eradicating all forms of discrimination and traditional gender norms, promoting female leadership at all levels of society, investing heavily in institutions that support gender-based policies. Biblical prophetic lens. 1. Reproductive rights equals abortion advocacy. In UN terminology, sexual and reproductive health services often includes access to abortion, contraception, and comprehensive sex education, even for minors. Psalm 139:13-16 clearly teaches that life begins in the womb. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Exodus 20:13, thou shalt not kill. Framing abortion as a right and health service turns the taking of innocent life into a protected global norm, directly opposing biblical commandments regarding the sanctity of life. 2. Redefinition of gender roles and rebellion against design. The agenda calls for gender equality in all areas of life, something that on the surface appears just, but in practice it often erodes biblical distinctions between male and female roles. Genesis 1:27, male and female he created them. Titus 2.45, Ephesians 5 and 1 Timothy 2 affirm distinct but complementary roles for men and women in the home and church. The movement away from Yahuah's created order, e.g., promoting female pastors, abolishing fatherhood and motherhood identities, or enforcing gender fluidity, is part of the broader spirit of rebellion and lawlessness described in 2 Thessalonians 2-3. End-time deception will normalize immorality. Isaiah 5:20, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. 2 Timothy 3:1-3, in the last days perilous times shall come. Men shall be lovers of their own selves, disobedient to parents, without natural affection. Promoting reproductive rights and redefining gender roles under the banner of equality creates a system where biblical morality is labeled hateful and those who stand on Scripture are cast as regressive or intolerant. In such a world system, biblical believers, especially those who reject abortion, transgender ideology, or sexual permissiveness, will become targets of exclusion and persecution, as foretold in Revelation 34:7 and Matthew 24:9. Summary. The agenda's goals around gender and reproduction conflict sharply with Yahuah's design for life, family, and morality. By embedding abortion and sexual autonomy into human rights law, the agenda advances a global moral code that opposes the commandments of Elohim. This moral inversion is a key sign of the end-time rebellion and spiritual deception prophesied in Scripture. Final encouragement, stay awake. Stay set apart, stay anchored in truth. Though the world rushes toward unity without Yahuah, you are called to be a watchman, a light in the darkness, and a voice that does not bow to the system of the beast. The 2030 agenda may promise peace and progress, but only Yahushua Mashiach is the true Prince of Peace and the coming King of Righteousness. Remain rooted in the Word, be bold in the face of deception, sound the alarm with compassion and clarity. And remember, he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Matthew 24:13. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Luke 12:32. You were born for such a time as this. Stand firm, Yasharel. Your redemption draws near.